father. Now, this is probably going to be more for me than it is going to be for my dad. Because my dad's capacity to listen is fantastic. His attention also. It's kind of amazing in a certain way, like my brother. It's amazing, like mine. It's amazing. But usually it's their own thought, all right? But when they do listen very, very well in a certain way. Anyway, the trouble with my dad is he hasn't really kind of had anybody apart from my brother really to talk to. A bit me, but I really have to shout and scream to draw his attention to things. As he was growing up, not as he was growing up, between 13, 50, 60, he didn't have anybody to talk to, really, apart from his son. It's pretty heavy on the old brother, but which means that he didn't really follow his son a huge amount. He kind of led his son a lot, and that's why there was argument, because that was the only time that my brother actually grew up stronger, right? However, my father, he doesn't listen, so therefore the chances that my dad's actually going to listen to this, whereas 1 minute in to me rambling on, is virtually zero. If I say something to the point, okay, but then the problem is you would object immediately and want to sort of like disagree, okay, so that's the problem. That's why I meander. If I say something expressly, I would say, well, actually, I haven't even thought about what I want to say to my dad. I can't try it. I think you're doing fine. I'm glad that certain things haven't triggered either physical disorder has got any worse, and the the stuff on the finances and playing games stuff with eBay and coins haven't actually it was a bit tricky in January, only about a month ago, but it seems to have stabilized. So I think it's always the danger. You're dependent on something external to yourself. You're dependent on the markets. Can you imagine? Money. Can you imagine, people buying your coins? It's just like, that is dependency. Why? And, however, the good thing about it is that it's getting you focused on something, and you're learning a lot of stuff, and that's really good and valuable. It would be quite nice if you shared that with us, interesting things about the world and history and so on and so forth. Perhaps your experience in life. I think people would really like to hear these things. I mean, if you just recorded stuff like this, all right, on Mum's computer, I would love that. I would love that. Now, you can see this is a genuine thing, and anybody who's looking at this, it's a genuine thing to see people just open up and just say whatever they wanted to say, but hopefully for your benefit. How beautiful. Get my mum to do it now. Marvelous. And so, look, okay, the reason why I'm asking you to do this is because you're going to die, all right? Probably sooner than most of my other relatives, okay? And if that is the case, I'd like to have you saying stuff the way that you do, kind of. So I could see that afterwards, when you're dead, all right? So it's like a photo, but a little bit more advanced, all right? So it gives you a quality of who you are in some form or other. It would just be rather nice, all right? So it's selfish thing. Just say, I'm asking for this as a gift. Could you please give me this? Please give me this. Please give me this. I'm begging, please give me. Record something you're just ranting on about your history, about a child, about you having children, what it was like when you had your son. And because you're a certain age, you'll remember things. It'll just be like a great joy just remembering these things that you haven't remembered, recalled for such a long time, and just bringing them out. We'll just be like, oh, I haven't brought that out for such a long time. And you're giving that to us, okay? Because I have no idea, for example, how it was that you perceived the fact that, Mum was pregnant with me. How did you deal with that? I mean, the chances are you were like, oh, bloody hell, because you didn't have enough money, okay? And it wasn't kind of planned. So it was like, oh, crikey. It wasn't like, hoping, after like the first pregnancy, like for example, Ricardo. It's like, oh, brilliant, you've planned it, brilliant, fantastic, it's part of the plan, birth, everything was like, oh, great, bloody hell, amazing, fantastic. Whereas for me, it was like, oh dear. Even the birth was like, oh Christ, this is going to cost a lot of money. Do you see? Was that your experience? How much of that was your experience? it would be nice to know. How am I going to find that out? That's right, only from you. Uniquely from you. Now, it's not a performance, not to everybody else in the world, it's to me, your son. And by doing that, you're kind of teaching me a little bit more about what a father is. And if you do it selfishly, I'll go, okay, right. And if you don't do it selfishly, I think that's the lesson I'd like to see. Because then I can learn a lot about where your attention's going. Because you're doing it for me. Whereas the other one, the lesson is just like, something went wrong somewhere. Still very selfish. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'd like to learn the other one because then I can maybe emulate that. So when I'm old, I can record and then I can tell people how it is that I felt when I met them. If I don't have children of my own, which is a bit sad. And it might sadden you. I'd like to know, is that sadden you that I don't have any children? Or are you quite happy about that? Do you think it's a wise thing? What are your thoughts on that? Take as many recordings as you want, right? There are experiences you had that always interested me before I was born, or before you had a family, or before you were even married. You've told me a little bit about when you were 11. You told me a little bit about the fact you had a father. All right, you told me a little bit. You had a brother. I was like, you had a brother? I didn't even know you had a brother until last year. Is that outrageous? I think it's outrageous. So, if you could just record some of this stuff, it would be really kind of cool. If you devoted time to that, and you can make it artistic if you wanted to, you are very artistic. Take time with the words that you use. It's quite funny. I know your words are not quite as, you don't have as much control of them as you used to have, but they can still be very insightful. Okay, so I am very capable of listening. Other people might not be, but I think I will be. And you might want to tell other people. You might want to record, what you thought about Ricardo when he was born, before he was born, various experiences, before he became kind of conscious. And Teresa and Alshundra, why not? These are the things that you are leaving in the real world when you die. Coins and stuff like that, so it can be okay, but it's going to be your grandchildren, and great-grandchild. Your great-grandchild. Now, what are you thinking about that? Are you thinking about coins, making money? Or are you actually, Because I heard that, for example, you might not be going to visit them. Like, Mum's going in March, and you might not be going. What is that? And they're going to buy tickets for you and everything. It's because, you can't take a day or two off your work. That's weird. Okay, I just look at it and just go, it's not that important. This is. And I think it indicates things. And what you're devoting your life to now is indicating things about your values. And people, I think, would benefit from the values that you have demonstrated throughout your life. Thank you, Father, for the fact that I'm alive. And I am the person I am. Most of that, a lot of that is you.